What is known, the knower, and the act of knowing are not true, are not real. What is real is the awareness of this, and this is always pure and unchanging, because knower, what is known, and the knowing itself are temporary, they're changeable. And this is also true for experience. So right now in your room, listening to this, you're experiencing something, right? You're experiencing me speaking, you're experiencing what's in your room, you're experiencing the device that you're listening to it on, you're experiencing all of this. And you are the experiencer of this. And there is an experience. There is an experiencing of this. So the experience, the experiencer, and the experiencing are all happening, and they're all really one thing, right? They cannot exist without each other. You can't take the experiencer out of the equation and have experiencing, right? You can't take experiencing out of the equation and have an experiencer. What would it be experiencing? And you have to have something that you're experiencing. So all these things are interdependent on each other. They're completely one with each other. They cannot be separated. But these things are changeable. Now, after this meeting, after this satsang, now, in a few hours from now, then something else, you'll be experiencing something else. And you will be an experiencer that's different than you were when you're experiencing this. You'll be an experiencer of something else, maybe an experiencer of dinner, maybe an experiencer of whatever else is going on. The experience, all of that will be different. It won't be the same. It's changing all the time, really. Even while I'm speaking now, there's different experiences, different things that come up. Maybe a sound outside, maybe the sound of a car or something, and you hear that for a moment. So that's another experience you're having. It's all changing all the time. And that's why in this Gita it says that this isn't true, because it's changing all the time. It doesn't have any permanence. It doesn't have any solidity. And what does is the awareness of this, because we are aware of the experience. We're aware of the act of experiencing, and we're aware of the experiencer, the one who's experiencing this. We're aware of that too. And this awareness is permanent. It is unchanging. It is completely pure and untouched by everything that we experience. And when we shift our attention to this, when we keep our attention on this awareness, this is how we're in an environment that's maybe very chaotic, or a lot of things pulling our attention, but we stay. When our attention is here, we're unruffled. We have equanimity. We're not pulled this way and that way by the demands of life. We remain as awareness and do all these things, meet the demands, do everything that's asked of us, but we do it from this place of great peace and equanimity, because we are awareness. All we need to do is shift our attention to this, because it's always here. It's just, we don't have a habit of doing that, right? We don't have a habit of putting our attention on awareness. It's something so subtle and so always here, which makes it the most subtle of all, because it's always here. It doesn't come and go. If something comes and goes, we really notice it. Oh my God, there's a sound. An explosion went, what's that? So our attention goes right to that, because that's not there all the time. That wasn't there at all a moment ago, and now all of a sudden it is for a second. It completely gets our attention. But something that's here always, that's never not been here, is very subtle. It doesn't demand our attention because it doesn't come and go at all. It's always right here, always present. So it's sort of, it's like it's under the radar, right? Because it's always here. It's under the radar. Why do we need to pay attention to that? That's always here. That's not something that comes and goes, and we need to get our attention biologically and as a protective mechanism for us. Our attention kind of goes to the things that come and go because the danger is not here constantly, right? If something dangerous happens, it needs to get our attention quickly so we can get away, right? Oh, no, the house is on fire. Okay, run outside, get out, the house is burning, right? It's not always burning. It's only burning, in this moment. So we need to get out. So our attention has to go to that. So it goes to these new things, not to something that's always here. And what's always here is what we are, is our awareness. Because it has to be, doesn't it? What we are has to always be here. And this awareness is always here, unchanging. So it's very subtle because it doesn't change and it's always here. Subtle because we're not paying attention to it. It doesn't grab our attention because it's not a danger to us. We don't have to figure it out. Oh, what does that mean? What do I need to do something with this? We don't need to do that with awareness. It's just always here. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to be afraid of it. It doesn't grab our attention. So our practice is to put our attention there purposefully, to just bring our attention back to what is always here. What helps us do that is it's very comforting. It's very peaceful. It's wonderful. It feels really good to put our attention on awareness, on this subtle thing that's always here, because it's reliable, because it's always here. It's like, oh my God, this is always here. This is the one thing I can rely on because nothing is changing in it. Everything else in the world is changing. Everything else that I tried to put my attention on, that I tried to hope would be a place of safety and peace and well-being for me, that would be for my highest benefit. Everything that I counted on doing that changes. So I constantly am disappointed with it. Oh, this is going to work. Yes. This job is going to be it. Finally, I get this job. I know it's going to be perfect. Oh, I'm so happy. And then after a while, I'm in this job and I didn't know it would be like that. I didn't know it would be like this. It had some good points, yeah. But now it has these other things that aren't so good. Now I'm kind of unhappy with it. Maybe I should look for another one, because that one will be the one, right? Or that relationship, oh, this one, oh, I'm so happy. This is the love of my life. And now, I'm with this person and it's just so wonderful. And then, yeah, but wow, I didn't know that he snored. That's really annoying. Now I can't sleep. Maybe we should get separate bedrooms or something, or I'll sneak out to another room to sleep and not let him know about it. And other things, go on. And so it's not perfect. It's not what I hoped it would be, which is this total happiness, this total fulfillment, because that is what we're looking for. What we're really looking for is not the half measure of the kind of happy, sometimes really happy, sometimes not. We're looking for the eternal happiness. We're looking for the eternal peace. We're looking for the eternal love. That's really what we want in all these things that we look into and think. And so we're always going to be disappointed because none of them can give us this. They can just give us moments of happiness, moments of peace, moments of love, but not unchanging, love, not unchanging peace, not unchanging happiness. So when we encounter awareness, we find this unchanging happiness, this unchanging love, this unchanging peace that's always here. It's just so reliable. And we've never found anything in life that is like this. And the kind of amusing part of it is that it's always been here. It's always been here, and yet we've been looking outside to find these things. Really looking outside to find these things. You know, our whole attention and effort and life has been devoted to finding these things. And we've never found them. And we can't find them. And when we find them here, we realize that we can't find them outside. Because this is the only place that it is. And yet it's always here available to us. It's always here for us. In this place that's so present that it's subtle, and so always here that our attention doesn't go to it. Has never gone to it. But at any time we can put our attention here on what's aware, mostly by shedding the things that are not this, because they grab our attention. We're so used to focusing our attention on these that they grab our attention because these are changing. What is my job like today? It's always different, isn't it? It's really always different. So what is this job like now? What is my experience? If we pay attention to it, it's changing all the time. What is my relationship like? It's changing all the time, really. We pay attention to it. In every moment, it's changing. We often don't want to acknowledge that, you know, because we're looking for permanence in it, and it doesn't have any. It really doesn't have any. So when we look, we see it's changing all the time. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful that it's changing all the time. That's part of life, is that it's constantly changing. It's wonderful that it's impermanent. It's wonderful that it's changing all the time. But it's not something that we can rely on like we can on something that never changes, that's always pure and unchanging. And untouched by anything that happens, completely untouched by all the things we experience, by all these things that are constantly changing. This is never touched, this is never upset, disturbed, changed in any way. Always here. Always available to us. I mean, more than available, it's just always here. So 24/7 in every single moment, awareness is here. And when our attention shifts to this, the more our attention shifts to this and stays here, the less distracted we are by the things in life that are constantly changing, which is everything else. Everything else in life is constantly changing. And the more we stay in awareness, the more our attention is in awareness, the less we're distracted, pulled away by all these changing things in life. The explosion that we hear outside. Oh, what is that? You know, that it gets our attention because maybe we have to leave our house if that happens. Maybe we have to go somewhere to a fallout shelter if they still have them, you know, or our house is on fire. We need to know, oh, my room is burning up. I need to get out of here. But all this is happening in awareness. It cannot happen outside of this unchanging consciousness. The one who is getting out and needs to leave the body mind that's doing this is also in this consciousness. Everything is. So at some point in awakening, our attention stays here. We recognize this as what we truly are, and that nothing could exist without this. And because it's infinite, omnipresent in everything, everything we see cannot exist without this. It's part of everything. It's the truth of the truth. The truth of everything is this. So from here, we recognize the changing experiences in life are changing experiences in life. That's what they are. They are not life itself. They are changing experiences that are coming and going all the time. And wonderful, beautiful. But we don't think there's something else. We don't imagine that in that experience, I'm going to find my eternal happiness and peace that's unchanging. No, we can't. It's already here. Every disappointment that we have is really only pointing us to this. Every disappointment we have in life is only saying, try again. Look a little closer. Where is what you really want? Where is what you're really seeking? Where is it located really? Is it in that changing thing? Or is it somewhere else, much closer, much more intimate? Look again. Disappointment only means that the dream is showing us that it's a dream. It's showing us that it can't give us what we think it can. It can't give us what we believe it will. It's not a bad thing to be disappointed. It's pointing us towards truth. Our only disappointment is we believe so strongly in this dream that when it turned out not to be true, it was painful to us because we're so attached to it. No, I want it to be true. I want it to be true. It must be true. That's why we feel the pain of disappointment. But it's telling us the truth, that we can't find it outside of ourselves. No matter how it's promised, no matter how much we believe in it, no matter how much everyone else tells us that this is where you'll find this permanent truth. We don't really admit to ourselves that that's what we're looking for. We think like, if I get happiness like 60% of the time, more than 50%, that's good enough, right? But that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for the 100%, if we're honest with ourselves. That's what we want. We want the 100% unchanging happiness, the 100% unchanging love that only gets deeper. It doesn't come and go at all, ever. It's not affected by anything that happens in life. That's really what we want. We're not honest with ourselves when we don't admit this to ourselves, but nobody does. Because the world doesn't promise us this. I mean, we're kind of aware that the world is not going to give us this. So we're settling for just over 50%. That's good enough. But it isn't what we want. So we're going to be disappointed because in that way we're lying to ourselves. We're not admitting that we really want the 100%. That that's what we're going for. And that's what we want in. Once we admit that to ourselves, we see that the world can't give us that. Has never given us that, ever. No matter how everything is built up. Oh, finally I'll get this. We all do this, At one point I thought, if only I was winning international awards as a filmmaker like these people I admired and sort of were role models to me. If only I got that and was where they are, and had this really successful film company and was winning international awards, then that would be it. Then I would be permanently happy. And, it's wonderful to get that because you realize it's not. That's the benefit of getting it, of working so hard to get it, because it crushes your dream. You get it and you realize what's going on. I got it. And yet it's nice. It has a lot of rewards to it, but it isn't the permanent happiness. Life goes on as it was before, only now have international awards and my business is very successful. But otherwise, there isn't this permanent happiness because that's what I thought I would get. And I didn't. I was disillusioned. I was taken out of the illusion, rudely snatched away from me. It was painful. I didn't like to be disillusioned. I had so much faith in this and I worked so hard. But always there is this unchanging happiness right here. Everything that I was looking for was here, which was why I was looking for it, which is why I believed in it and I worked so hard to get it, because something in me knew that it was here. It thought it was outside because that's what I was taught. It thought that if only I got what the advertisements say, then I will be happy because that's what they promised me. If only I got what the conditioning told me I would get, what my dreams were, if only I attained that, then I would have it. So I was just looking in the wrong direction, like all of us. Just looking in the wrong direction. Because awareness is so subtle, because it is the answer to all of our dreams and all of our searching. But it's always here. It doesn't come in this like flash of light, this explosion, and then go away, which would definitely grab our attention. It's just here all the time, which is why we don't look for it. It's too present. It's too continuous. It's too reliable for it to get our attention. And yet that's why it is this unchanging happiness and peace, because it is always here. It is unchanging. It is the complete fulfillment of everything that we've ever sought for, everything we've ever searched for. While we believe that we're a separate self, a self-identity, and believe that this isn't changing, this separate self-identity is not changing, it is changing all the time. We can't see this until we step back into awareness and see it from awareness. And from awareness, we say, this is not a very solid thing. This is changing all the time, just like everything else is. My self-identity. One minute I'm this, the next minute I'm that. I'm going to grow into this. If I work hard enough and have self-improvement, I will become this. And a while ago, I was like this. It's changing all the time. It has to, doesn't it? I mean, if it didn't change, then someone that was like an alcoholic in the gutter would have to stay there forever and could never get AA and become sober, which happens to many people. They do. But if it was unchanging, then forget about it. That's what it is. That's a hard thing when people see that their life is really, this is just what I am. I'm unchanging. I've always been like this, and this is what I am. They get very stuck in their life and they can't really grow. right? Because they have this belief in something that's totally untrue. They're changing all the time, but their mind is so focused and so set on this thought that they are unchanging that their life becomes like that. They like shoehorn their life into this belief. And so it becomes like that, this very limited belief. It's never been true, but when we believe in a thought for our life, it becomes true. As long as we believe in it, it becomes true. You know, we can be like a prince or princess living in a castle with everything given to us constantly and feel, I'm miserable. I'm so miserable. And so then our life is miserable. And yet we're given everything that everyone else wants to have a happy life. And yet we're completely unhappy all the time because that's what our mind tells us. I'm unhappy. So you're unhappy. There's nothing that can be given to you that's going to change that. As long as your belief is that you're unhappy, you are going to be unhappy. And you can believe that you're happy, and you can be in circumstances that everybody would think was terrible, you know. Oh my God, really? You live in that hole in the ground covered in water, you know, and mud? And that's where you live? Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm so happy, right? It's just thoughts. Thoughts believed in have a great deal of control over us, power over us. But the solution isn't to change our thoughts to a happy thought, because that's still not true. That's still just a thought that we're letting control our life. It's to be free of all thoughts, to know what we truly are, which is not a thought. It's what's aware of thoughts, this consciousness, this awareness. Because that's truth. And there's a happiness here that is real. It's not a thought happiness. It doesn't change. Thoughts happiness change. You know, we could feel we're happy all the time, and then we meet somebody who's a philosopher or maybe a therapist or something and said, like, that's unrealistic. You can't be happy all the time. You're not happy all the time. Really, I'll show you that you're not happy. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm not happy all the I thought I was. Now I feel totally unhappy. Right? It's fragile. It's just a thought. It's just a belief. It doesn't have reality. It doesn't have substance. We can't depend on it. And here in awareness, this is something we can depend on. It never lets us down. It can't. It's eternal, infinite, unchanging. In all the world, it's the only thing that's reliable. The truth of what we are, and everything else is truth. Not thought truth. Truth that's here before there were any thoughts. Our experience, the act of experiencing itself, and the experiencer, the one who is experiencing. are all perceived in awareness, are all held in awareness itself. I, the experiencer, am held in awareness, perceived in awareness. Awareness holds all of that, all of this.